Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is Monday, February 24th in the NBA. My three best plays are on the way. I hope you guys had a great weekend. We're going to dive into our picks in just one moment. But as always, I need to address the elephant in the room, and that is recapping how we did yesterday. Although I wish I didn't have to, because I wish I was one of those channels that just said, oh, what? We had a terrible day. No, that wasn't us. Yesterday, 0-5. Yeah. Go down below, leave any comment you want. I get it. I'm going to be reamed in the comments. It's fine. I've been doing this for long enough. People can call me the worst sports bettor in the world, although you can see my record down at the bottom right. Not too bad on the season. Everything went wrong yesterday. We have had, in fact, since the All-Star break, two of our worst 3 days in the NBA have come in the last 4 days. And I would like to say they were terrible reads, but at the end of the day, we got so unlucky yesterday. Now, let's talk about it. Karl Anthony Towns, we took his under 23.5 points. 5 points in the first half. His live bet, 13.5. 10 points below what we have. What happens? He goes off in the second half, ends with 24, right on the hook. And that also hooks our parlay, which was plus 250 with him and Brunson, as that leg was in there as well. Another hook. Then we move to Halliburton. You could say Austin Halliburton, bad read. I get it. It was probably a bad read. He didn't help that he shot 65% from the field. Whatever. Zion Williamson shooting 65% from the field. That's what he normally does. Not for us. He shoots in the 40s. And then finally, we're 0-4 going to the final game of the day. Thunder versus Timberwolves. I'm already like, there's just no way Ant-Man goes under. But I know that what's going to happen is he's going to have a terrible first half and then just absolutely stab me in the back in the second half. And what happens? Yeah, just that. His live bet at 1 point, 18.5. What does he do? Ends with 29 points. 3 hooks in our 5 plays. I honestly have to laugh through the pin because I don't know how you do that, but hey, it is what it is. I get it. You guys, this is what's going to happen though. No one's going to tail today. We're going to go 3-0. Then they'll hop back into tailing in a few days. We'll have a bad day. And then you're just going to hear that from the people. But again, if you follow the picks long term, you're up 25 units on the season. And that includes 2 of our worst 3 days in the NBA over the last 4 days. If you buy stocks, my stock couldn't be lower right now. I have been so unlucky in the NBA. If you want 3 locks today, and I won't be my official picks, Donovan Clingan's grabbing 800 rebounds. Anthony Edwards might not score a single point tonight. And Tyrese Halliburton might not break double digits. He might not score a single point. 3 winners. That's for you. Let's dive into the picks today. I'm pissed. Man, I can't get over it. Best bet of the day, Tim Hardaway Jr. Under 10.5 points, a 1.5 unit play. The Detroit Pistons shooting guard. I'm taking his under tonight. Minus 118 on FanDuel. Now, if your line is at 9.5, I probably only play that for 1 unit. I personally think the line should be 8.5, but I don't make lines for Vegas. They make the lines for me, and we just have to pick off of them. This is my best bet of the day. Tim Hardaway Jr., if you're looking for a pick to tail, this is the one. Now, of course, Tim Hardaway Jr., like I said, is the Pistons shooting guard, but he doesn't have a really set in stone role here. Obviously, if Malik Beasley comes off the bench and is playing well, he might take a few minutes there. Asura Thompson, arguably, not really arguably, their best perimeter defender. If he stays out of foul trouble, he's going to be on the floor. Guys on the bench, we have Dennis Schroeder. He can get in there. Ron Holland gets his minutes. So, again, Tim Hardaway Jr. has ways where he doesn't play a lot of minutes. And this could be one of those games tonight. It's him and the Clippers, well, him and the Pistons playing host to the Clippers. Now, what I really want to look at first and foremost is Tim Hardaway Jr. This is his lines for over made 3-pointers. So, obviously, 1.5, a little bit juice. That's what he does, shoots threes. But looking at the other lines, plus 158 for him to make 3, plus 155. So, pretty juiced in the way of, hey, we don't think he's making 3 threes tonight. It's be about minus 200 on the under. And when we see in the season when Tim Hardaway Jr. doesn't make 3 threes, he's not sniffing this line. Now, on the season, you'll see, or at least his last 30 games, you'll see he's under in about 17 of 30. Pretty solid hit rate. Now, yesterday, he had a big day. 18 points against the Hawks. The Hawks, one of the worst 3-point defenses in the NBA. Now, obviously, I want to sort out games where Jaden Ivey's playing. And again, this is PropsMadness. You can use code COS for 25% off your purchase. Best research tool out there. I want to look at games where Jaden Ivey doesn't play, but also I want to sort Thompson in there because he's been in and out of the lineup. Now, when those two things happen, we see Tim Hardaway Jr. under in 14 of 23 games. Now, recently we've seen him play pretty poorly. But again, you look at that, I already talked about his 3-point line, sitting at 2.5 plus 155. So they're not very confident that he makes 2 or more threes. And this season, when you've seen Tim Hardaway Jr. play without Ivy and with Asura Thompson, and he doesn't make 3 threes, look at the guy under nearly every single game. The game's going over against the Suns. Tip the cap to him, gets 6 free throw attempts against the Magic, 5 free throw attempts, and then here against the Bulls, he doesn't play necessarily that great, but goes 5 of 10, gets a bunch of 2-pointers and stuff like that. That's not really his game recently. Like yesterday, 6 for 11, 10 3-pointers. Here, 8 3-point attempts out of 9 shots. Here, he does get some more twos, but it's the dang Bulls. And then the other games is basically that's all he does is shoot 3-pointers. So when he's not making 3 or more, he's going under. Now you can say Austin, it's juiced towards the over for the 2. Even when he makes 2 threes, still only a 50% hit rate. So again, look at the matchup here against the Clippers. Not a great one. Spot up shooting, they're about middle of the pack. Transition, top-ish 10 defense, free throws, off screen. They're pretty good defense at the end of the day. And so I think they can do a decent job at slowing down Tim Hardaway Jr. I just personally think the line should be 8.5. I think this line's too high. As I said, they have a bunch of other bodies that go out there and do their jobs. So I don't really think Tim Hardaway Jr. is needed as much tonight. Also, yesterday, the Clippers gave up 129 points. Their defense was terrible. So again, expect Ty Lue and that defense to and the coaching staff to be like, hey, we got to play better defense, stay home on shooters. They give up a ton of wide open shots. The Pacers last night, they stay home on Tim Hardaway Jr. He's going to pass out of it and get to Cade Cunningham, and then maybe they'll bring in some other guys. But again, I just don't like Tim Hardaway Jr.'s matchup. I think the line's too high, 10.5. You did it against the Hawks. Now do it against a team that actually tries, knock on wood, on defense. I don't love it. Also, you think about the Clippers, we should maybe see the return of Norm Powell and Kawhi Leonard. Both guys got the day off yesterday, both nursing some injuries. Wouldn't be shocked if they just rested them on the first half of a back-to-back. Today, they should play. And if those guys are playing, Tim Hardaway Jr., kind of a liability defensively, you could see more minutes for Asor Thompson, who did get into foul trouble yesterday, which was a reason that we saw an uptick in minutes for Tim Hardaway Jr. That's my favorite play of the day. Tim Hardaway Jr. under in points. I will let you know Tim Hardaway Jr. might not score in the first half. Scores 11 in the third quarter. Yep, that's how it be. Second play of the day, Nick Smith Jr. of the Charlotte Hornets, over 13.5 points, minus 122 on FanDuel. I also like this at that 14.5. Obviously, this is a Hornets team that I couldn't tell you who's playing tonight. This team could rule out LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges. Mark Williams is suddenly out. Don't know what the heck happened with him. At the end of the day, Nick Smith Jr. is a guy that pretty confidently suits up tonight, and a guy that's been more or less pretty decent for the Charlotte Hornets recently. Now, is he the most efficient player in the world? No, but he's an NBA player that's shooting the basketball. So let's hope he can knock down some shots for us tonight. Now, obviously, he plays for the Hornets. They're on the road taking on the Kings. They're coming off that game against the Blazers where the Hornets lost by 53. Now, in that game, Nick Smith Jr. still at the over, despite going 0 for 5 from 3. And he still played 33 minutes, and that was a game they lost by 50. So, again, even in blowouts, minutes are somewhat consistent. Now, in terms of this matchup, we're thinking about the Kings. They don't really have any good perimeter defenders. In fact, their best one is Keon Ellis, and he comes off the bench. So again, with no perimeter great defenders, wouldn't be shocked if we see some double teams coming towards LaMelo Ball's way. And should see Nick Smith Jr. get some open opportunities. Now, let's first begin with Nick Smith Jr. and how he scores his points. Now, you see he scores a lot in the pick and rolls, the ball handler, 15th to be exact. The Kings are defensively there. And then 25% is spot up shooting, where they rank 30th. Now, obviously, transition will be nice. The Kings are a pretty good transition defense. I don't know if that impacts him as much. But again, with LaMelo in there, I don't expect as much pick and roll ball handlers as I do spot up shooting, which is obviously a great matchup. We see he scores 44% of his points on above to break threes, where the Kings rank 29th, second to last. So they're really bad there, but they're good at limiting restricted area shots. So again, guys that drive to the hoop and score like that should have a decent opportunity there. And we should see Yusuf Nurkic kind of running some more of the offense. He's more of a capable passer than Mark Williams is. So again, I see pathways to victory for Nick Smith Jr. Now, obviously, you can look at his numbers. You're like, oh, he's over in 10 of 30, and I get that. But again, we got to look at some games. Now, with LaMelo Ball, he's played in 21 games, but again, I really want to look at with LaMelo Ball and when he plays actual minutes, because we're looking at a guy that wasn't really in the rotation recently. But when he plays with LaMelo Ball and, he sees about 25 minutes over in 4 of 8 games, you look at recently in February, he's been shooting the ball a good amount, 19, 13, 12, and 14 points, 13, 12, 13, and 18 field goal attempts. So again, shooting the ball a good amount this season when he's played with LaMelo Ball and he's gotten the field goal attempts, let's say about 10 shots. Looking at a guy over in 5 of 9. His misses, 3 for 10 shooting. Plays less than 20 minutes here. This one, 4 for 10, doesn't play a ton. Plays a good amount, just doesn't shoot it too well, 40%. And then other games. So look, he's a guy that's going to go out there. And he's not afraid to. He's got the green light. I don't know if he should have the green light, but hey, he's shooting the basketball. That's all we can ask for. I think he's blowout proof. He's going to get his minutes, and they just don't have a lot of scoring in this game. They don't have a lot of great spot up shooters. Nick Smith Jr., if he gets the ball spot up wise, it's going up. So again, I really like it. I think the volume's good tonight, and I think he has some opportunities against the Kings, who don't have a lot of great perimeter defenders. So we kind of see them sometimes over leverage themselves and see a lot of double teams. The ball gets kicked to some open guys, and Nick Smith Jr. is probably going to be one of the open guys. It's either him. Yusuf Nurkic might be open because he can't make a shot to save his life. But again, I like Nick Smith Jr., like his over in points time. It's second play of the day. Third and final play. Get in, get out. Let's go 3-0. Let's get it bounced back after yesterday's debacle. That's going to be Trae Young under 28.5 points, minus 105 on Bet365. Technically, some books are at 29.5, and if he ends on 29, you might not see me tomorrow. But Nick Smith, for Trae Young, I'll take it at 28.5. I'm not laying a minus 130, minus 140 at 29.5. Obviously, the Hawks are on a back-to-back. Yesterday, they played that track meet against the Pistons. Score 149 to 143 or something stupid like that. But today, Trae Young and the Hawks will play host to the Miami Heat. Now, the Heat are also coming off a game yesterday against the Milwaukee Bucks, but still, I expect them to be locked in here and trying pretty hard. And are the Heat the best defensive team that they have been in years past? No, but they are coming off a loss. And let's be honest, who the heck do the Hawks have outside of Trae Young? No one. So don't be shocked if some double teams are coming his way. Also, we think about the Miami Heat. They have their best perimeter defender out there pretty consistently. That's Davion Mitchell. Haywood Highsmith hasn't played recently, but wouldn't be shocked if he gets up and moving tonight, as Nikola Jovic is now out with a hand fracture. So we could see Highsmith get some minutes tonight to kind of go out there and harass Trae Young. At the end of the day, if I am the Heat, we need to make someone beat us that is not Trae Young. And I think they try their best to do that tonight. Now, Trae Young, obviously, he has been scorched earth recently. So if you've been fading him, you've been getting cooked, as he has 38 points in 3 straight. However, look at the matchups. The Knicks, they give up the most points opposing in the pick and roll. The Magic are a team that are really good at limiting other guys, but struggle against guards. And then you have the Pistons last night, where obviously the Pistons are another team that struggle against guards. So we see this team in the Heat, 13th in the pick and roll against the ball handler. Really good at limiting free throws. Trae's second most common way of scoring, and really good in transition. Where they really struggle is spot up shooting, where we could see Trae Young dishing it to his teammates. Assist line is sitting at 10.5. I don't hate that over. But the points wise, I just don't like it. I get he's been hot, but look at the matchups. Pacers, sure. Pistons, once again. The Spurs, very good matchup for him. I just don't love it as much. And also, we're thinking of a guy in Karis LeVert. He just played very well, very terribly last night. Expect him to be better tonight. At the end of the day, I just don't like this match for Trae. Head-to-head wise, only played him once this year. Scored 11 points on 3 of 13 shooting. Dyson Daniels didn't play in that one. Now, Jalen Johnson and Hunter were active there, but Dyson Daniels, a decent addition. Last year, 27 and 30 points. This game, I made 7 threes. Cool. Go make 7 threes, and I'll take the L. But again, we think about this lineup. They're playing Cleo Ware. They're playing Bam Adebayo. They're playing those guys in there. So Trae Young, I don't see him having a lot of opportunities driving, getting into the paint and scoring there. If he's going to get the opportunities, he has to make threes and on a back-to-back. Don't know if I can trust him a ton. He's struggled on back-to-backs this season. If you look at his stats, back-to-back wise, under in 7 of 9, averaging 17.6 points per game. It's only over his game against the Wizards. Congrats. I could score against the Wizards and the Raptors. He made 7 threes once again. So again, if the shots are falling night, you tip your cap to him. But again, he's kind of struggled. So I don't love this matchup for Trae. Scoring 29 points, a little bit tough against the Heat as your only option. And I expect some other guys to step up. Karis LeVert at 12.5 points is kind of enticing. They must have just popped that lineup recently. I don't mind that. I could honestly see him having a pretty good day. I'd consider honestly adding that play yesterday, 3 for 10, lost some minutes because he couldn't buy a bucket. But I kind of like Karis LeVert. So if you want to pick, I do like Karis LeVert's over, but I'll fade Trae Young tonight. So my 3 picks of the day, we'll recap them real quick right here. Best bet of the day, Tim Hardaway Jr. under in points, Nick Smith Jr. over in points, Trae Young under in points. Those are my 3 plays. Let's bounce back after yesterday's debacle, that 0-5. I can't do anything. I can't do anything about that. We had great opportunities. We just got wrecked. We got wrecked at the end of the day. I'm sure the comment section is real nice today. Either way, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for having a great, hopefully, weekend. See you guys hopefully tomorrow with the brooms out. at least recapping a winning day. And I'll see you guys then. Peace.